We often hear that pressure reveals character. I disagree. Pressure doesn't reveal character. It reveals the system's current configuration. When you're squeezed, what comes out isn't some deep, hidden truth about your will or discipline. It's simply the pre-programmed, default response of your internal system. What you do under stress is what you're designed to do. So, if you want to change your actions, you don't need more willpower. You need to redesign the system. Many of us believe that knowing what to do is the key to doing it. We consume books, watch videos, and gather information, thinking that if we just learn enough, we'll finally take action. But knowledge alone is powerless. Have you ever known exactly what you needed to do, eat healthier, exercise, finish that project, and still found yourself doing the opposite? This isn't a failure of knowledge. It's a failure to understand causation. True, sustainable action doesn't follow knowledge. It follows a deep, intuitive awareness of cause and effect. You don't just know you should do something. You feel the direct causal link between your current state and the action required to change it. When you internalize that link, the action becomes not just a choice, but a necessity. The gap isn't in knowing. It's in understanding the why behind the what on a fundamental level. This brings us to the core of our discussion, the causal mindset. What is it? Simply put, it's the ability to see the world not as a series of random, isolated events, but as an intricate web of cause and effect sequences. It's looking past the immediate symptom to identify the root cause. Someone with a causal mindset doesn't just see procrastination. They see a system misalignment where the perceived cost of action outweighs the perceived benefit. They don't just see a lack of motivation. They see an energy deficit caused by poor sleep, nutrition, or unresolved emotional stress. This mindset is like having a pair of glasses that allows you to see the invisible threads connecting every outcome to its origin. It's a shift from asking, "What's wrong with me?" to, "What cause is producing this effect?" It's a diagnostic tool, not a judgmental one. Developing this skill means you stop fighting against symptoms and start addressing the source, which is a far more efficient and effective way to create change. So, if this causal approach is so effective, why do most of us default to reaction? Why does it feel so much easier to react in the moment than to respond based on a causal understanding? The answer lies in our brain's wiring. Reaction is optimized for one thing: short-term relief. When you face a problem, your mind screams for a quick fix to alleviate the immediate discomfort. Procrastinating on a difficult task gives you instant relief from the anxiety of starting it. Snapping at someone in an argument provides a momentary release of frustration. These reactive behaviors are seductive because they offer a quick payoff. They are low effort, high reward in the short term. The causal mindset, however, plays a longer game. It requires you to tolerate short-term discomfort for the sake of a long-term sustainable solution. It demands that you pause, analyze the causal chain, and choose a response that serves your ultimate goals, not your immediate feelings. Reaction is easy because it's a downhill path of least resistance. Causal action requires the deliberate effort of walking uphill, knowing the view from the top is worth the climb. Let's explore how this system works. Think of yourself not as a single entity, but as a complex, integrated system with multiple layers. You have your perception layer, how you see the world. Your judgment layer, how you interpret what you see. Your emotional layer, how you feel about it. Your energy layer, the physical and mental resources you have available. Action doesn't just happen. It emerges as an output only when all these layers are aligned and pointing in the same direction. For example, you want to start a business. Your perception layer sees an opportunity. Your judgment layer confirms it's a viable idea. Your emotional layer feels excitement and passion for it. Your energy layer is high because you're well rested and healthy. When all these components are in sync, the action of building that business becomes almost effortless. It's the natural, inevitable outcome. You don't have to force it with willpower. The system is configured for that specific output, and so the action flows. Now, consider what happens when these layers are misaligned. This is where most of our struggles originate. Let's use the same example, starting a business. Your perception layer sees the opportunity, and your judgment layer agrees it's a good idea. But your emotional layer is filled with fear of failure, and your energy layer is depleted from a stressful job and poor self-care. In this state of misalignment, what happens? You experience a massive internal conflict. Part of you wants to move forward, but other parts are pulling you back. This is what we commonly call procrastination, self-sabotage, or a lack of discipline. But it's not a character flaw. It's a system error. The energy you do have is being wasted on internal friction, with different parts of your system working against each other. It is like trying to drive a car with one foot on the gas and the other on the brake. You burn a lot of fuel, create a lot of noise and smoke, but you go nowhere. The cost of this misalignment is immense wasted time, squandered energy, and the quiet frustration of knowing you're capable of more, but feeling stuck. So, how do we fix this? How do we align the system and build causal action? The key is in applied control, specifically through identifying the single point of leverage that will create the biggest shift. Instead of trying to change everything at once, the causal mindset directs you to find the one root cause, the one domino, that, if you push it, will set off a chain reaction of positive change. This is the art of finding the minimum effective dose of effort for the maximum possible outcome. Let's say you're constantly feeling overwhelmed and unproductive. You could try to force yourself to work harder a low-leverage action. Or, using a causal lens, you might trace the overwhelm back to a lack of mental clarity, which is caused by poor sleep, which is caused by looking at your phone in bed. The point of leverage isn't work harder. It's put the phone in another room at 9 p.m. This single, small change can cascade through the system. Better sleep leads to more energy. More energy leads to better focus. Better focus leads to productivity. And productivity eliminates the feeling of overwhelm. You didn't fight the symptom. You remove the cause. This is applied control, strategically intervening at the most potent point in the causal chain to reconfigure the entire system as output. In the end, we must understand that action is not an act of will. Action is a system output. It is the final, logical expression of a series of interconnected internal processes. When your actions don't align with your goals, the solution isn't to try harder. The solution is to become a diagnostician of your own internal system. Ask, where is the misalignment? What is the root cause producing this effect? What is the single point of leverage I can apply to realign the system? When you configure your perception, your judgment, your emotions, and your energy toward a single, unified purpose, the right action becomes more than just possible. It becomes inevitable. It flows from you, not because you force it, but because you have designed a system where no other outcome is possible. Thank you for watching. If this resonated with you, consider subscribing for more content on building effective mental systems.